It's important to realize something about how life is, you see. Your mind is going to store events happening up like in real time based in a memory that is false as far as your perception because you're still learning and you're keeping on learning. And having said that, most people, I think you get the impression that 80%, if they are narcissistic, yes. I think it's more than that, by the way, percentage-wise, especially since C19 announcement that kind of went just exposed everybody as being a psychopath and or sadomasochist. I mean, leaves narcissism way behind, going, I think we know something more. But anyway, so since it's just prevalent, it's most people that are are it's a backdrop. It's a backdrop, and you can see the world is absolutely like a gymnasium, not a gymnasium, but more like an amusement park, a safe haven, a coop to, well, it's preying on this part of the organism, potentially human, that needs to find its humanity. But it's energy, and yeah, in general, there's energy that the human being is. You can enslave it to this problem that needs to be looked into, and once it's looked into, it's solved. But we don't look into it, and there is a lot of, you'd say, for whatever reason, the population is just it's huge, right? You have an expanse of people, but look at how many are crazy, babes. I go down off of, besides for what's sheltering with a bunch of money that is posing as not being completely insane. Literally, you know how you go down in the city and you'll see people talking to a ghost on the street, and but I'm not referring to that. No, there is just a like a norm that now I'm gonna put a video at the. I already put the video up on my channel. If you see it, it's the Sam Vaknin. He describes within 10 minutes what we're dealing with. And so, yeah, you have to watch out for becoming an object in somebody's head, which is, that's just the way the head is. The head holds objects until the being becomes purely aware. It's using its mind, and it'll use its mind in a whole different way rather than having it become this thing that influences. It keeps something. Now, I don't think it's human, but there's something, right? It's the mind. It's trying to stay safe. You could figure it's just a parasite because it's not expanded in awareness inside. There isn't an awareness that says, no, wait a minute. Um, I would rather do the work it takes, just a little bit, discipline myself to get my energetic body on. Because um, all of a sudden now we're talking about psychopaths, right? But I think it's the same with all of the mind that is fully encapsulated and now is doing like this. It's going for the obvious, as something that is in a deficit of getting energy authentically. Like it feels very pressurized. It's not like it's in school. It's worse than being in school that it needs to get good grades, otherwise people will come down on it. No, this is we're out of school now, and you should know, and it's just a human quality that we're now bumping and saying, yeah, good job, and they don't got it, and so that causes inside the fear, the paranoia of that being found out, the fear. very, very insecure. The insecurity is what you feel right away, right? And a lot of these people now, you know, of course they're the ones that are doing money, to the extent that they hire slaves around them, or for sure. See, what their problem is that they are enslaved, and so now they're doing the flea thing. That more, it's more like the Mimi thing. It's like there's many me's, and that's where when they have kids, it's kind of sad because, well, it used to be right that they would enslave them, but society has changed since women have been diagnosed also with extreme, I'd say extreme narcissism is psychopathy. Um, and that's the truth. Sam Vaknin tells you right there what I've been trying to tell you. I get some of my information from Sam Vaknin, but no, I am experiencing a life. I'm near 50 years old now. And if you're paying attention, boy, that paying attention thing is such a pain in the ass because when you start giving every moment a consideration into your mind, saying something to it that says, well, this is the truth now. This is the truth. You see, it's a constant practice. You don't ever give the mind to reality, which is, if you're that type of person, now what you're doing is you're doing the cookie cutter on top of everybody. Okay, now that's what is that called? Is that a psychopath? I don't know. You're projecting. Yeah, you're turning things into something else that they are not. See, they have to be a certain way. See, that's where you get people that they kind of look at them and they go like that, and it's like, and that can happen immediately. That's where we do have our sensitivity on. It's human. If you're a human being, you're picking up all this in real time. You're not waiting. That they have a sense of reality. Who are they? There's a lot of people out there. The way that they experience others, they turn reality on and off, and that's you too. You don't see them unless they see you, kind of a thing, right? They're doing peekaboo, but now they could be in the age 60 or 35 doing this all their life. They are like, you don't exist unless I turn my attention towards you, and that's just not the truth. See, the truth doesn't give a fuck whether you agree with it being there or not. Uh, Bullshit does. Bullshit cares about that. And there's where, that care energy, you want to talk about it. It's like, okay, this is where they draw off of your, say, if you're potentially human, if you are, really, there's a potential here, and we're all trying to be authentically present with each other. You can wave at these people for 15 years, and then finally, you show a vulnerable side, which is just human. You say, man, I need your support, or I need you to understand something. And they'll be like, then they just, especially if it's an emotion, something, for whatever reason, is it their education? Yes, a lot of times, you babes, we can talk about this forever. Minute 9, woo! I'm going to put this on Sunday. This is way too much. Your education system is geared to be stampers, people that stamp on people. Because why? They didn't get where you are and they're down. I'm up. That's exactly basically it. And that is the binary processor, just a mind that doesn't have any feelings at all. And it's really not intelligent. Now, getting back to pointing at the maze of the world, which is set up for these fucking monkeys that chug away in this very confined, right? It's conformity, I guess you would call it, which is shutting out the very potential of just becoming human. I know that we've heard all of this before, but I'm somebody who understands it to the T, to the point of like, whoa, okay, so give me some time here. I'm working on my composure, how it works with me, how really easy it actually is, to where it's like, are you kidding me? Now, see, why we have social media is for precisely this, kind of communications that is going to start identifying that there's the possibility, and it's not a possibility, babes. There's a possibility that we could become human beings here. Most are missing it, and they come right upon the precipice and they say, oh, are you kidding me? It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. You are out of line. You are, in fact, like you see these people, the unhealthy and the ones that are maintaining themselves with all of, yes, it's technology and maybe some of it does work, but they're shutting other people out that are saying, no, most of it doesn't work, maybe some of it does, and why don't you give us just at least some of it, and why do you fucking cause scarcity all around instead? And that includes for the whole thing. It's the organism we're looking at, right? And I'm going to keep using this language, and I've used it before, and it's like, I hear it more and more where it'll just come up. It's like, well, see, because that's the right language. If you want to like get real, Ria, really, there's real science, and we can break it down even more because it's a feeling that we want to maintain. What's the problem, people? Let it happen. Just let it. Oh, no, there is an education, like I was talking about the systems education, and then there's a real education. And see, I don't know about you, but I do not like mixing it up here with psychopaths and sociopaths and whatever it is out there that, like I said, you can be cool with it and wave to it for and it can be every day that you see it, and you have to, maybe sometimes you have to, and it's a money transaction, maybe you work with it, but then the moment you show true vulnerability and you need a human connection, like you have an emotion, you'll see, you'll see that now they're going to send you into their pit, their misery. Remember that insecurity that I was telling you about? Remember the paranoia that I was telling you about? Remember the fear? Remember, it's just a feeling of not having the tools to work with, to even work a fucking golf ball through a gutter. They do mimic. Okay, they can become very mechanical, right? And we're talking about what is chugging around out there. Really just, okay, you want to talk about the cookie cutter society, pardon me. The cookie cutter society, who is doing the world. They don't see, oh my God, you can run into the things that we're doing, like we're still using things that way. Why? Well, nobody has invented the easier way. In fact, the mentality of mentality says that is very much a world. Now, there's these two worlds here. The one that we're having a problem with thinks that torture and the hard time is just life. And it's like, no, it's not. Babe, life is hard enough. You know, it's hard enough. And what do we mean? It really, it's because energy, just living, being, how it is, like the water flowing down from the mountain down to the ocean, it's not hard. It's just sometimes you get caught over here, but then eventually it all either disappears or it gushes out, and it takes care of itself, and it's taken care of, man. And we're not trying. Trying is lying. What the fuck happened? It's a good metaphor to see the human, the generations going. It's just a river. And to understand that there is intelligence behind us that is way beyond what is trapped here. Seems like it's trapped. See, it's stuck. And I swear to God, there's something like a spirit in the background saying, God, would you guys please? This is so simple. And why did you get caught in the mind? The mind. In such a way that it's like it's double time, it's triple time, it's a box within a box within a box, because here we are to enjoy this fucking thing, but instead it's turned into torment and torture. And why? Well, see, the body, like I said, it's hard enough, it's tough enough, but we're doing it. We're fine. And see, the concern gets to how are we using our technology? Why is it not working for us in microcosms, and then microclimatically we can see a thrive, a flourishing, and see, we're looking at an overlay. The overlay is real. The overlay is through association. The system has created this, what we look at in outer space kind of when we rise up is like, is that a cancer? That's either a cancer or it's a fucking city. And having said that, babes, the design that's happening, I mean, coming up, and the way the way it's working, it's very peculiar because you get the idea that something else completely could go on if we use our imaginations and do include that maybe the human civilization would have a different way of using their technologies, which would expand into machinery that is like, hello, mountain-sized castles, city-sized castles stemming 7 miles high that create their own weather systems that are made of pure granite because they were 3D printed, down to statues going, this is how to do it, people. Stay happy.